tries. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's over! They did it! They did it! The job is done! The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions! And they will lift Lord Stanley a mile high!
I could hear that 100 times and it'll never get old. You guys did lift Lord Stanley a mile high. We're live in the Bud Light studios and Cale Makar is joining us live here in studio. Scott Hastings and Josh Dover kicking it with you. Cale, first, thanks for coming on, man. It's awesome to see you here, hanging out before you guys get ready for the season. How was the off season? What's it like being a Stanley Cup freaking champion?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm not too sure if I'm muted here on the TV, but I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah.
No, we think we got you. Ask Raj. He's a hockey guy. He knows how to do the film and stuff. So tell us about your time with the Cup this summer.
Yeah, so obviously everybody gets it for the one day, and my day was pretty special in Calgary. Was able to take it home, spend some time with family, and then take it back to kind of my minor hockey community rink that I grew up playing at.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was pretty sweet to see all the people that showed up for that.
A lot of kids, a lot of junior hockers or young hockey players.
Yeah, young kids, and it was pretty special to see all their looks when they walked into the room.
Now, we told you during the break, we had your dad on after your first appearance in the Avs. You scored a goal in the playoffs. We had him on the next day, and he talked about flying a Avalanche flag in the community, surrounded by Flames fans, right? Yeah. Calgary fans all the time like that. But you're still a favored son. So when you come back to that community, winning it, they got to at least still be happy, though, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think over time, it's taken a little bit of time maybe for some cousins and stuff like that to convert from Flames fans to Avs fans, but I think everybody's converted now, which is good. So, yeah.
I want to ask you too, and Scott's an NBA champion, you're a Stanley Cup champion, and the people listening and guys like me I just dreamed about that, right, as a kid.
You won that rec league.
I am a rec league champion.
You won the rec league.
Thank you, Scott. I wasn't going to tell Cale.
And Dan won. Was it softball or
badminton?
Badminton championship.
Champion at his local high school.
Seventh grade.
But when you're, I'm in my driveway shooting, pretending I won the Larry O'Brien championship trophy, right? A kid in Calgary, are you pretending in your backyard pond or wherever you skate that, man, I'm going to win the Norris, I'm going to win the Conn Smythe, and I'm going to raise Lord Stanley's Cup? Like, did you emulate that as a child? Everything that you accomplished this year?
Yeah, definitely the Stanley Cup stuff. I feel like my brother and I always had, whether it was some fake trophy going on, whether it was we playing mini six in our living room with the big net we had, or just in the backyard on the ODR, or on the outdoor rink. But yeah, no, it's definitely something as a kid in Canada that you dream of growing up, and so it's pretty cool to accomplish something like that you've always worked towards. But there's definitely a lot more to go still. So we're even more excited for this year.
What's kind of funny is you've had some success. You're still a young guy. You hope you repeat what you did 2, 3, 4 more times in your career in the next 15, 16 years that you play. But you're talking about going and playing with your brother in the house, in the backyard, or all the stuff. Have you had time to sit back and go, you know what? Yeah, I had great coaches in junior, and I had great coaches at this, and Betsy I love and stuff. But do you realize how much time you put into your craft when you were 7, 8, 9 that I think pays dividends now?
Yeah, I think for me it's not so much. I haven't thought about the amount of time that you put into it, because I feel like obviously the cliche saying is if you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. So right. For me, it was always, I just loved hockey so much, and anytime.
That's a mature statement for a young guy, by the way.
No.
That's a mature statement for a young guy.
I appreciate that. But no, for me, it was just, I always just wanted to kind of have fun and work as hard as I could. And once you find yourself in the game and stuff like that, then it gets a lot more exciting. So for me, it was just trying to get better every day that I was growing up, and just moving on from there.
How much, and especially because you're just so damn good at everything you do on the on the ice. When you have a guy like Nate, and we know what Nate is, and he's going to command and expect a lot out of you guys like he expects out of himself. You have a guy like Gabe, who is the captain, EJ, who is a veteran in this locker room, but you've got a couple of years under your belt. You got some hardware to show that you're good at what you do. Do you think that's kind of your next step of being, even more so than you already are, a leader in the locker room, a guy that holds others accountable, vocal in those instances, or is that Gabe's job?
No, I mean, for teams to be successful, everybody on that team has to have a certain role in leadership, playing in leadership, regardless of who you are if you're a guy that just plays a couple of minutes a night, or Landy or Nate who's playing most of the shifts. So for us, I think that was a massive key in playoffs last year is everybody has a voice, and everybody can speak up, and everybody respects each other. So for me, it's definitely, I've grown in that aspect just over the years, and especially just being in the NHL, growing and understanding what it takes every year. So now I feel like I just try and take a bigger step of leadership every year. And obviously you touched on Landy, Nate, and Mikko, and EJ, all the guys that wear the letters on our team are incredible leaders. But for me personally, it's not about having that letter to be a leader. Everybody just, you need to respect everybody, and I think that's what makes great teams.
I want to say something that this may be stupid, and you may not even like him. Talk about Landeskog. Hopefully you do. But I've said this before. I mean, you're a star in this league already. Young McKinnon's a star in this league. Mikko's going in there. He's been an all-star. You got all these different guys. And I've said this for the last 2-3 years. I think the most underappreciated, because, as fans, get him a Cale jersey. Gabe Landeskog is the most underappreciated dude, and I think significantly important to your team. Not the fastest, not the best stick handler, not all, but there's just something about him, an aura. When I'm watching as a fan, there's an aura he plays with. Am I way off base? Am I close? Do you sense that also? No,
I think, especially on our team, I don't think he's underappreciated. I think everybody on our team knows exactly the value that he brings, and he's just a guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve, basically.
And he's pretty.
He's that definitely adds to it for sure.
Yeah.
But no, he's the best captain I've ever played for, best leader, and it's just amazing to see how he carries himself on and off the ice. But in terms of underappreciated and stuff like that, I feel like for a guy league wide, it's definitely got to go to Taser for that. Taser's my D partner. I don't know. He's been so good, and I feel like his recognition is definitely coming up the charts here. But he's definitely a guy that should be at the top of the charts every single year for D.
Hey, speaking of Landy, though, he does like to take his shirt off.
He does.
He does. I nicknamed him about 5 years ago Spartacus, because man, he come out. I mean, he looked like
was there with the weird interaction.
I mean, he looked. I mean, ripped, looked good. But I will say this. But and you know what? I'm a dad now, so I got kind of a dad bod. Although he's a dad now too. Dude, I take my shirt off too if I look like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty handsome man, that's for
sure.
You know what? Speaking of handsome, we're going to trend. I asked Taser this too, because we got into it. Was that yesterday or the day before about this NHL coaches list? Taser said it hadn't made it to the locker room yet, so maybe we can help you
so
get it.
You guys
there.
can bring it up.
There was a list.
Yeah, what's this list?
People made a list 1 through 30 of the most handsome hockey coaches in the league.
Oh wow, okay.
Bednar was 15, and we're upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Bedsy, I'd be a little upset about that too. I mean, I feel like his style game and hair alone should bring him up to the top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know who's making that list, but probably not very accurate.
It was Dan. Can you help me? Some video game site or something like that, I think, made it up. So yeah, I don't know how much.
That makes sense. Then. Yeah, I haven't seen that list yet, but if Bedsy's at 15 and I know how many of my aunts and stuff like that love watching just for him. So yeah.
So you don't get ticket requests like, hey, can I meet Bednar?
No, I mean sometimes he comes up in the stands after the game, and I kind of take a back seat to that. So it's all good.
Your aunts are good. Hey, can I get an autograph? Yeah. Plus, let's be honest, he wears a suit probably about one size too small, so he looks even better than he is.
Oh, I mean, I don't think he has to. He's a pretty big guy as it is. He's always in the gym every day, so he can't complain with that.
So does he bench the most on your whole team, maybe?
I don't know about bench the most. I feel like McDermott probably benches the most. He's an animal, that guy. So. Yeah.
By the way, did the whole team give Curtis some grief for the fallback with the cup?
No grief. I mean, it comes with the process of winning it. I feel like you just have to enjoy it, and that was a little bit of unfortunate circumstance, but something that people will never forget, and obviously we'll never forget. So it's a pretty cool, special memory that we have with the team for that.
Yeah, I asked Taser this a while ago. Greatest speech, and he said you couldn't really hear back behind there. I mean, yours is pretty good. Greatest speech at the Civic Center when everybody got up there. And once again, hey Dan, can you play EJ's? You know, we start the show every day with this right here.
Yeah.
Denver.
So do you remember that? Who in your mind had the greatest moment up on stage in front of that microphone?
Oh man, I feel like
Nico was pretty good.
Nico had a pretty good moment. I feel like EJ's moment was pretty good too, and then obviously Landy and Nate. It's tough to tell. Landy obviously up there, he had the Swedish flag on, which was pretty cool, and so probably
Again, I think
moment.
he took his shirt off and
Yeah,
put the
he was
Swedish
just
flag.
he definitely probably just had the flag on there. So
Well, what about Banner Night, right? Coming up, you guys are less than 2 weeks away from playing, a regular season hockey game. Has that crossed your mind at all, the emotion of that, being with those fans? I mean, they were 500,000 strong at Civic Center, and now they're going to be 17, 18,000 strong down at Ball Arena. Have you thought about that moment yet, watching that thing go into the rafters?
not too much, to be honest with you. I think when that happens, it'll kind of set in a little bit that kind of what we accomplished. But for me, I've kind of just moved on from that now and get ready to, hopefully pop in a couple preseason games here and then get ready for the regular season. So obviously it's going to be a very special night and very cool for the city to just hopefully rally behind and stuff. But you just enjoy it and then move on.
And I was involved with two. One, the team that I joined had won it the year before, and then we won it that year. It's a distraction. Mm-hmm. And to me, most teams that win championships hang banner. That is a struggle game because the mental focus you guys have for the playoffs. You need that, right, to win games. And boy, that so just keep in mind on that. That is a distraction night. That's a tough night.
For sure.
We also did this with Taser and wanted to throw it your way too. I don't know if you know this. You scored some pretty amazing goals last year, and one that stands out to a lot lot of folks is what you did.
Connor, but you don't get to hear Connor too. Just like Tay said, yeah, I'm usually working when he's working.
Yeah.
So you don't get to hear a lot of Connor's calls, right?
No, I mean sometimes I listen to him. Not the one that calls on my goals. Usually calls on other goals, but he's a pretty amazing commentator. So
we're gonna go back to the United Center. Okay. We're gonna go to your goal. We'll hear it from Connor McGahey, and then we got another.
One of our buddies at work here tried to emulate Connor.
Yeah, another edition of it that is not as good. But take it away, Connor McGahey.
Behind the net, Cale Makar with it, looking for a pass, keeps it himself. What a move, Makar, down low, Cale Makar, he scores! Oh, hail Cale! Oh, my goodness gracious me! Cale Makar goes intergalactic, and he goes upstairs on Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay, that's Connor. I mean, the energy he has. Tate said he's surprised how much energy he has because he's not like that walking around.
No, I mean he seems like such a kind of calm person walking
Clark
around.
Kent kind of like that.
Yeah,
right?
and then it's like that's why he's amazing though. He can. I mean, even just me listening to that, it got my heart pounding. So I'm like you. I can't imagine for fans listening on the
it's
radio.
unbelievable.
So it's
unbelievable.
pretty special.
So now we'll go to Jesse Trujillo, who he helps Connor. He's the engineer that sets it all up, right? Yeah. Connor's the talent.
Yeah, he works all the games.
Okay. Yeah.
Jesse does the magic to make it work. And you can vouch. Jesse has zero interest of being on the air, and you're about to find out why.
Okay.
McKinnon's behind the net, passes the puck to Makar. Makar's behind the net. He comes around, spins back towards the net, back up against the goal.
Spins is what we're going to do. What'd you think of the two calls there?
I mean, I can tell why he doesn't want to be on the radio. That's for sure.
And he will accept that. He will accept that.
Cale, it's awesome to have you in studio, man. We're really excited about what this season can bring, and hopefully a decade plus of you rocking an Avalanche sweater in this city.
And real fast, do you remember those commercials a bunch of years ago? You don't know if you ever saw it, but it had, you might have even not been here, but remember when Landy and Gary Harris did those cool commercials, which I thought they were great commercials.
You did one with Landy, didn't you?
Oh,
yeah.
Recycling? Yeah.
That was this year.
Landy and I did the Pepsi one last year, this past season. So.
Yeah. I got to believe you and Joker. Have you got to meet him at all?
No, I haven't met him yet. So
I think you both have very similar personalities. Just kind of quiet, mild mannered, easygoing.
I appreciate that. No, I think leave the acting to Landy. I mean, he's obviously got some amazing hair and great looks, so you got to leave the acting to him.
But I mean, you had a good line, right? Do I got to teach you everything? I'm like, well, yeah.
I try my best. I mean, the guy carries me a little bit, so that's fine.
Well, we really appreciate